I reckon if O'Halpin actually kicks 50 goals for the season, Tom, he's just about. I reckon it's a super output for him. Yeah. For a player that hasn't played a lot of forward footy, I think that's a great result.
I've seen him play a couple of times this year, and I've been really impressed with not only his physical presence, what Richo was talking about, but just his general forward nous. He's learning the game almost game by game. It's really impressive.
So it's manageable again. 60 plays 38.
It certainly is, and that's Halpin's best ever amount of goals in a season. We're in round 6, so great effort. In 2007, he might have got 13 goals.
You're predicting he'd declare now, are you?
Might have just found one here, Dennis.
Here's Lucas. Might have found one with him as well. He goes down towards half forward. Terrific by Shaw. Look at the dash. Wonderful defender. Wellingham, the look-away hand pass. Turvey robbed of it. Judd once more, single-handed. He's lifting his side back into the game. Satanta leads back in the race. Well, maybe he's the other hand. Although it's Judd out of O'Brien's back towards Satanta. O'Brien goes again. Look away, handball was good. Judd, well, he ran hard to try and put pressure on O'Brien as the kick comes up towards the wing. Jacobs battles there with Fraser. Spills out to McLean. Brock McLean, look out! Oh, wonderful, arriving quickly, Swan. What a competitor. Sockers it off the ground. He'd now Murphy dead to rights. Dawes claimed by Henderson. He prods it across towards Fraser. Taken down by Joseph. Over the top goes Jacobs. And we'll have a ball up.
Gone up here. It's gone up a notch. Carlton just got a little bit of a sniff here. Intensity's gone up. Tackling pressure on their last 3 or 4 has been spot on.
Thomas decisively. Pendlebury. Claimed by Russell. For so long, Russell much maligned, but he's running into a rare vein of form.
It's a pretty significant interchange about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and that's number 5 for Carlton, came back onto the ground.
Got 4 possessions in about a minute.
Boundary throw in. One down by Jolly. Well done by Thomas. Swan. High ball to half forward. 2 on 1. Missed by Gibbs. Fell in front. The last place for it as far as Carlton were concerned. Side bottom to Didak. Didak goes in and kicks the goal. Doesn't give you a second chance, number 4.
Numbers, they come inside and you've got numbers there, and as soon as Collingwood break with the ball, they're away. You see the ball come inside here. It's sloppy too by the Carlton defenders not to keep the ball in their zone, and over the top, Didak, he's done that his whole career, being able to get into the right spot at the right time.
Just watching that, Tommy, should Bauer have come and killed that ball, do you think?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's the number one role for a defender.
That was not good by Carlton. Tom just making the point there that Bauer chose not to fly. Needed to get it out of there hot. As it was, it came out slow, and side bottom set things up. Cruiser over the top, knocks it down. Judd once more. Left it behind this time. Simpson bounces off Pendlebury, who managed still to get him down. Oh, well done, McCaffer. McCaffer sends it down towards half forward. Peeling off in front and doing pretty well was White. He tracks it out towards the boundary line. Bargain basement player. Gives it across to Lucas. Back it comes to White. White, 56 in the draft. He drives it down inside the forward 50. Lurking behind Betts. They need something from him. Simpson will go with the left foot and do so with distinction.
They're just starting to find holes now, Carlton. They're starting to get the ball, and they're not going backwards. When they're pushing the ball forward, they're half a chance. When they play that slow tempo footy, that's the time that Carlton are getting themselves into trouble.
2 words, forward and quick, Ox. That's what they've got to do.
So Murphy going at his second. Margin currently at 28. Make that 22. Blues are surging.
Not going away here, Carlton. No, it looked like Collingwood were going to really get out to an 8 to 10 goal lead, and all of a sudden it's back to 22 points, and Carlton looked really dangerous when going forward, Tom.
Yeah, they're quite contradictory teams, really. Collingwood are a really strong contested ball team, and if the game's played in that manner, they'll win. If we can flick the ball out in the open with some handball receives and some uncontested possession, that gives Carlton a real chance. They've got some fantastic decision makers when in time and with space.
Mark Murphy, 15 possessions, 10 times, 2 goals at the MCG for Murphy, never 3. Chris Judd up to 18 possessions. Still more to be done. Neither ruckman touched the footy. Wellingham, who's been wonderful. Judd left it behind. Carrazzo knocked it across towards Scotland. Carrazzo comes away with it. After the deflection, he kicks inside the forward 50. Shaw got a hand to it. Murphy, how did he control that? It was like a basketball dribble. After the football, Henderson just wrenched away by Murphy. In goes Scotland, shrugs free, gets a hand pass off. Murphy on his knees, brilliantly. Cruiser taken down by Maxwell. Judd out of there. Carrazzo gets it across towards Armfield. It is hot in there. In comes Thomas. He didn't realise it for a moment. He got free. That surprised him. Johnson swan through midfield towards half forward. Hitting the ball hard is Cloak.
Wellingham's free.
Look at him going back. Dawes, that is hard. Running by Dawes. Wonderful. Cloak lobbed it on his chest. It was like a wide receiver and the quarterback linking up.
Gee, they worked hard to get that. Yeah. They really did, and Dawes has been super impressive.
If it wasn't to be Dawes, it would have been Wellingham. Some terrific offensive running. We see it right here. Either runner could have taken it.
Just that extra tackle, wasn't it, that got Murphy?
Dawes. Goal.
Took him to the ground. All clear. Took him to the ground after he'd taken the mark.
It's interesting. That's Dawes' fourth mark inside 50. That's no other Collingwood player's got near that. I think one's the next best. He's been a revelation today, Ox. No doubt about that.
Love his strength. He really works before the ball gets to the contest to find a bit of space.
Yep.
And some players are just happy for the player to be there, but he really uses that bulk to push off, and using his strength to find a bit of space can only help them long term.
Dave, back on Friday night I was talking about taking the rallies from overseas to their first game of AFL and watching that. If you brought them this afternoon, they'd go back home thinking they saw one game of AFL football and not be sure which one it was.
And the experience in the crowd too.
Chalk and cheese, isn't it? Out of the middle, kick comes forward from Lucas down towards right half forward. Simpson, been lively, pushed, goes again. Good pressure from Tuvey, side bottom. They hunt in packs, these Magpies. Pendlebury towards half forward, overshoots the mark. Well done by Joseph, intended for Davis coming up on the lead. Here we go. Back to Russell. Jamison. And this is fair enough, I guess, just to run down the clock to half time. Bit theatrical there from Bauer. That's his position out there. He would recognise it. He did scratch his patch. Coming away is Murphy. There's the siren for half-time. Sunday footy. Try as they might, the Blues in the shadow of the Magpie. Collingwood, 11-6-72. Carlton, 7-2-44. Half-time on Sunday footy. Back at the MCG, half-time. Carlton trailing by 28 points. Collingwood led by 6 points at quarter time as we go down to Richard.
Collingwood are well in front in the tackle count today, and over the season they're number one in the AFL. The Blues want to win. They've got to try and even this up. If they don't, I don't think they can win, Dennis.
Good on you, Matthew.
Thank you.
So they were terrific, particularly in that second term, Collingwood. Getting runners around the ball, and despite the efforts of Judd and one or two helpers, it was really tough work for them. Judd came back on the ground and certainly had an impact, gentlemen.
Certainly did, and what he's able to do, those first 3 steps, I dare say he's got the best power of any player in the competition. With the 3 steps, he finds 5 metres and he's gone.
And that's something that we probably haven't seen in the navy blue. We remember that when he was the dominant player at West Coast. Oregon's taken him a couple of years to get his scoring stride. Having 3 games off with suspension at the start of the year hasn't hurt him, because he's been able to get some real work in, and he's in fantastic form.
Well, to see Matty Cruiser get his hands on the footy and a bit more kicking. Hasn't had a kick yet.
Sense of deja vu as we started. Third term MCG Sunday football. Gibbs taking a long time to get the arms free, too long. Pinned by Johnson, who's been handy. Where's Dawes? Generally he's been the target. He's breaking again. He's got clear of Henderson. Oh, that's too easy.
He's too big.